Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital. Drew's explosive meltdown as Chase and Willow ignite forbidden flames. We're going to talk about how Willow is relying on her ex-hubby Chase. We've seen him intent on helping her even though no one's crossed any lines there. Drew's off the deep end soon. General Hospital. Couple shakeups coming. Alright. So we reported a while back on some rumors about some big couple shakeups coming to the ABC soap. And two of the changes we discussed tie into this. We talked about Chase getting closer to Willow while his wife, Brooke Lynn Quartermaine, Amanda Setton, gets closer to her baby daddy, Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna. So, Willow split from Chase about 4 years ago, if you remember. But since then, even when she was with Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, we've seen that Chase and Willow remain friends for the most part. Chase's unwavering support for Willow through thick and thin on GH. Even when Willow got caught up with Congressman Drew Cain, we saw Chase holding out. And he was one of the few people that didn't judge her and gave her the benefit of the doubt over and over. When dealing with Michael and Dante, we've also seen Chase consistently defend Willow, insisting she's a good person and a wonderful mother. Chase doubled down after Willow was accused of shooting Drew and insisted she is absolutely not the kind of person that would put a bullet in someone, much less two and in their back. So Chase has never questioned Willow's innocence, no matter what. He is determined to prove that she is innocent in the eyes of the law, the judge, the court, and the PCPD. And that's all a big comfort to Willow. Of course, her lawyer, Alexis Davis, Nancy Lee Grahn, is thrilled to have Chase working the case to help exonerate her client. The investigation deepens on General Hospital. Chase suspects Michael is framing Willow. Chase is so convinced of her innocence that it's testing his friendships with Dante and with Michael. It may soon test his marriage because Brooke Lynn has already noticed what he's up to. She just talked about Chase's fixation on Willow's case when she was speaking to Dante, and she found out how often her hubby's been up at the prison. This was news to her. Not only does Chase think that Willow's innocent, but he's also sure Michael is guilty of Drew's shooting and is framing Willow. And let's be real, Dante and BLQ do think it's feasible that Michael is the shooter that put 2 bullets in Drew's back. Right now, Chase is trying to blow up Michael's alibi by finding out if Jacinda was doing her hooker thing and had a client at the time that Drew was shot, meaning she cannot possibly be his alibi. That would wreck Michael's claims to innocence and destroy his alibi. Relationship fallout. How Chase's mission affects his marriage on GH. Now, once this comes to his attention, you'd think Drew would be happy about that, but I think he's going to freak out. Right now, Chase is very much wrapped up in exonerating Willow. He's fixated on it. And of course, Willow is thrilled to have Chase in her corner, but his wife, Brooke Lynn, is not thrilled. Guess who else is not going to be thrilled? Drew Cain. He's going to find out very soon the lengths that he's going to, how often he's been visiting, and it's going to eat him up. And we all know how he is. Recently, Dante told Brooke Lynn that Chase has been up to visit Willow 3 times since she was sent to Pentonville. That was news to his wife. To her credit, Brooke Lynn didn't sit on this. She immediately confronted Chase and asked him if he's trying to free Willow. He's not going to deny it. He is because Chase thinks it's the right thing to do. His motives are pure on General Hospital. He thinks his ex-wife Willow has been set up by her ex-husband Michael, which is true, and he wants to see justice done. A Chillo reunion? Decoding the bond between Willow and Chase on General Hospital. The person that's going to be upset about this way more than Brooke Lynn, of course, is Willow's ex-fiancé, her almost husband, Drew. If Brooke Lynn gives Chase an ultimatum that he needs to step back from this, that could cause problems. And he's not going to do it. If Brooke Lynn sees that Chase is targeting Michael, who is Brooke Lynn's family, that's also a problem. But then again, he might have done it. So we could definitely be on the way to a Chase and Willow, aka Chillo reunion, but I don't think if it happens, it's going to be a direct route. Drew is going to find out very soon the lengths that Chase is going to try and save Willow. I'm sure that Alexis will tell Drew that they've gotten a big break in Willow's case since a PCPD detective is working in his off hours to exonerate her. Realistically, you'd think Drew would be happy about that because he wants Willow out of prison now and for her never to be convicted and go back permanently. The fact is Drew wants to be the one to save her. That way he'll ensure that Willow has to come back home to him. And they get this happily ever after that he's fixated on. Drew has no idea that Willow despises him. General Hospital. Drew notices the Chillo connection. This week at Pentonville, Willow and Chase were holding hands, not in a romantic way, but in a reassuring way. Brooke Lynn now knows how much Chase has been visiting Willow. And she doesn't like it. Alexis might actually get Willow out on bail this week. I suspect that Drew is going to find out about the hand-holding and the comforting. He may even see it for himself once Willow's out of Pentonville on bail because she'll continue to meet with Chase out in public. Then Drew can see the vibe for himself and he'll misread it because when he's looking at Chase and Willow, Drew is going to see it through the lens of his own fixation and perversion when it comes to her. Drew's unethical behavior and volatile jealousy take center stage. We do know that Willow has lied to Drew to make him think that they'll reunite if he can get her kids back, but Willow's hedging her bets. Let's be real. Chase is a good guy. He loves Brooke Lynn. And he isn't looking to cheat. I don't think Willow's looking to cheat with Chase. His interest in Willow isn't romantic right now. Chase is an ethical person and he wants justice. But along the way, if Brooke Lynn happens to get inappropriately close to Dante when she's frustrated and they're bonding over Gio, and she oversteps, then yeah, I do think Chase might turn to Willow. As for Drew, he is unethical, period. He just pirated a whole moving truck full of Q family heirlooms. He left Ned Quartermain, Wally Kurth, lying on the ground outside Bobby's diner, apparently having a coronary. It's ironic that Drew took stuff that doesn't belong to him, and Chase might wind up with something that Drew thinks belongs to him,
Charles is
which
about
is to
Willow.
ignite with a scandal that no one saw coming. Passions are about to flare, loyalties will be tested, and one man's breaking point could leave lasting scars. The center of it all? Drew Kane, a man pushed past his limits, and the devastating betrayal that's about to rock his world. A perfect storm brewing. 4 months, Drew, Cameron Matheson, has been spiraling. His heroic exterior and cool-headed demeanor have been cracking under the mounting weight of loss, guilt, and frustration. From nearly dying in Pentonville to losing control of Aurora Media, Drew's sense of purpose has been slipping away. His recent temper, directed at Nina, Carly, and even Michael, has hinted that something dark has been brewing inside him. But no one expected that his breaking point would come from someone he trusted, and someone he never saw coming. Willow, Caitlin McMullen, has been Drew's emotional anchor in the Quartermain chaos. Her steady kindness, loyalty, and ability to listen have given Drew the kind of quiet support he's been missing. She's been grateful to him, too, for helping her reconnect with her strength after her battle with leukemia and the emotional toll of Michael's recent secrecy and distance. But what started as innocent friendship and gratitude soon begins to take on something far more dangerous. Willow's restlessness. Willow has been trying to keep her family together, but Michael, Chad Duell, has grown cold, obsessed with his feud with Sonny and his schemes with ELQ. The sweetness that once defined their love is fading, and Willow feels invisible, like she's trapped in the shell of a perfect marriage that's lost its warmth. So when Chase, Josh Swickard, comes back into her orbit, it feels like fate is playing a cruel game. Chase has always been the one that got away for Willow, the man she truly loved before life and circumstances pulled them apart. Their breakup was painful but filled with lingering affection and unfinished business. Recently, Chase has been going through his own struggles, a rift with Brooke Lynn, resentment toward the PCPD's politics, and a deep loneliness he can't quite shake. When Willow runs into Chase at the hospital, their old chemistry flares instantly. What begins as friendly conversation quickly turns into something more intimate, an emotional connection neither can ignore. A dangerous confession. As Drew becomes increasingly erratic, throwing himself into risky business ventures and venting his frustrations at anyone nearby, he starts relying on Willow more than he should. She becomes his confidant, the person who reminds him of his humanity when his anger starts to consume him. And then, one night, everything changes. At a charity gala for the GH Foundation, emotions run high. Drew is already on edge after overhearing Carly, Laura Wright, and Sonny, Maurice Bernard, share a suspiciously intimate moment. He retreats to the terrace, furious and humiliated. Willow follows, trying to calm him down. Their talk is heartfelt. Drew admits that he feels like a man constantly fighting to prove he deserves to live after everything he's done. Willow, tears in her eyes, tells him he does deserve it, that he's a good man who's lost too much. In the heat of the moment, Drew misreads the compassion in her gaze, and kisses her. Willow pulls back instantly, shaken. Drew apologizes profusely, humiliated by his own actions. But the damage is done, and the confusion in Willow's eyes says more than words ever could. The forbidden spark. The next day, Willow confides in Chase. She needs to tell someone who won't judge her. Chase listens, protective and empathetic. But hearing about Drew's kiss stirs something fierce inside him, jealousy he didn't expect. "You shouldn't have to deal with that," he says, voice low and rough. "You deserve better than being caught in someone else's breakdown." Willow looks up, startled by his intensity, and in that moment, their old flame reignites. The kiss they share is impulsive, charged, and impossible to ignore. But what neither of them realizes is that someone does see, and that someone is Drew. Drew's meltdown. When Drew spots Willow and Chase in an intimate moment outside GH, something inside him snaps. Betrayal floods his veins, not just at the sight of Willow with someone else, but because she turned to Chase, the very man who once hurt her. His protective instincts twist into rage, and before he knows it, Drew storms toward them. "Really, Willow? Chase?" He seethes, voice trembling. "I make one mistake. One. And you run straight into his arms?" Willow tries to calm him, insisting it isn't what it looks like. But Drew's temper has reached a terrifying new level. Years of pent-up resentment spill out. His prison trauma, his career frustrations, his loneliness. He accuses Michael of abandoning him, Carly of using him, and now Willow of betraying him when he needed her most. "Everybody leaves when I start to break, huh? You all move on like I'm some kind of mistake you regret making," Drew roars. Chase steps in, trying to defuse the situation, but Drew shoves him, his fury uncontainable. It takes Dante and Curtis to pull Drew back before things turn physical. The fallout. After the blow-up, Port Charles is shaken. Drew's meltdown becomes the talk of the town. Carly rushes to his side, desperate to help him, but he shuts her out completely. "Don't act like you care now," he says bitterly. "You chose Sonny. You always do." Willow, guilt-ridden and shaken, tries to reach out, but Michael finds out about the kiss with Chase and explodes in fury, calling her unfaithful and reckless. Their picture-perfect family facade crumbles overnight. Meanwhile, Chase faces fallout of his own. Brooke Lynn is heartbroken to learn he kissed Willow, and their relationship hangs by a thread. And Drew? He's teetering on the edge. His anger has cost him the people he cared about most, and when he storms out of the Quartermaine mansion with a bag slung over his shoulder, it feels like a man walking straight into darkness. The aftermath. And what comes next? Port Charles has seen its share of scandals, but this one feels different. Drew's meltdown could spiral into something irreversible. His mental health crisis might take him down a dark path, one that could have tragic consequences if someone doesn't reach him in time.